All right, pressing the button in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 438 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the tech and gaming podcast from the GeeksFTW.com, where we cover all things geeky. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined by my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
And this week we're doing what we've been watching, whether it's movies or TV or what have you. Stuart, what's something you've been watching? You said you got a
I got some
decent
things.
size list.
Let's see. I watched a couple documentaries. Let's start with the fun one first. I watched the. Oops, why is it not shown on stream? The image is not working. 1 second. There. I watched a documentary called McMillions. It came out a while ago. And it is all about the McDonald's monopoly. Even like as a kid, I always thought like there's no way people actually win, that $1 million. There's no way. Well, I was partly right. Because there was no way anybody could normally win because the winning pieces were being stolen and handed out to like friends and family. Like there was a scheme going on, and that involved like the mob and stuff like that. It was a very fascinating documentary. It's on HBO at the moment. It's been other places. I think it was on Netflix for some time. But
Yeah.
it was a very fascinating documentary. It took some turns I didn't expect. I will say this: the best person in the documentary was the FBI agent who kind of spearheaded this whole thing. Dude was fucking funny. Dude was like cracking jokes. I mean, it was he was kind of the new guy in the office, kind of a thing, and he wanted it to be like it is in the movies, and he wanted to go undercover and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, what, go undercover where? What are you going to go undercover for? He found a way to go undercover.
Interesting.
It was pretty good.
If you lived in the 90s, there's no way you're not aware of the McDonald's, because it was so huge in the 90s. I feel like, I mean they kept going, and I don't even know if it's still a thing or not.
It is,
to be honest, but I feel like I don't hear about it as much, or it's not as
well, the marketing, okay, I'm gonna kind of spoil it. It was the head of security for the marketing company that came up with the monopoly thing. That was the guy who was stealing the game pieces.
Okay.
And when that came out, McDonald's dropped them. That was like 90% of their um, of that marketing team's or that company's customer was McDonald's. They also had Kraft. They also dropped them. It basically put that company out of business.
Yeah. It's also that, like, also in the 90s, it was just you'd watch, like, you know, a maybe a dozen or so channels, like, everyone would watch pretty much the same thing,
Yeah,
and, like, commercials would be everyone would see the same thing pretty much. Now, everyone's focus is, you know, scattered so much, advertising, is a lot harder to do, it feels like.
you're probably
Yeah.
right. You're probably right. I mean, there's definitely some like I talk to my to people I know who still have cable. Like, oh, did you see this commercial? Sure didn't.
I hardly ever see commercials.
The only time I see commercials is Hulu or um if I'm watching something on IMDb TV. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll get the same 5 commercials. So, but this was a fascinating. It's a multi-part documentary. Um, it like I said, it took some darker turns than I kind of expected. Um, but uh, but yeah, and like the news of this kind of broke at the end of August 2001. So this
Oh, okay.
immediately got forgotten like a couple weeks later. So yeah,
Yeah.
something much bigger happened that this kind of went away.
Yeah. I feel like the 90s, there was always a craze. Like, it was always one craze to the next, I feel like.
I mean
Maybe it's because we
that
were in that right
still
age.
exists. That still exists.
Yeah.
I mean TikTok. I
Like,
mean
I guess, but I mean,
like there
yeah.
I've seen so many things of TikTok made me buy it kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's true, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's because we're old, I guess maybe it's because I'm older and I'm more jaded, and
That's definitely it.
I
That's
don't,
100%
yeah.
it.
Like, I just look back at the 90s and I'm like, oh yeah, I was all about trying to do the Monopoly game at McDonald's, or trying to get the Disney the Disney themed glasses at was it Burger King that had the Disney themed glasses?
I don't remember those.
I believe there was a lot in the 90s. There was a lot of limited time glasses at Burger King and or
I
McDonald's.
remember the McDonald's ones.
Yeah.
I remember the McDonald's ones because we definitely had a couple. Like we definitely had like a bat. It was Batman Forever.
Oh yeah, those were cool. Those were cool looking. Yeah, because they look like they were like crystal, like
Yes.
like the way the shapes were and stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. We had these. I don't even know if we still do or not, but here's a yeah. Burger King, McDonald's, or Burger King Disney themed glasses,
Okay.
like Pocahontas, Jungle Book, Peter Pan. These were like very cheaply made compared to like the McDonald's
Yes.
Batman one. Yeah, like
Yes. I definitely
these.
knew people who had these. I didn't have them, but I knew people who had them.
Yeah, we at least made an effort to get like a few ones we wanted, like Aladdin and Lion King and Peter Pan, and it's like don't care about Dumbo. It's like it's like I was a little boy. I didn't really care about Snow White too much, or Pocahontas was all right. I don't know why there was that many Pocahontas. Like that's a that's a lot of Pocahontas.
Yeah,
At
there's
least in this
four. There's
image.
four.
Yeah. Oh, I think I don't know if I still have some of these somewhere. I might in a box somewhere. Like I I I I think I still have one of the Batman glasses though. I came across not too long ago. Unless that unless something happened to that. I think I came across that not too long ago and still have one of that, but yeah. The 90s was all about collecting, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that even came up in the documentary, like that was such a trend back back then.
Yeah. And it's like just and the shame of it is like all the like, oh, we're collecting baseball cards, this is gonna we're this is gonna be for your it's like, but actually no, because those were mass produced in order to collect, so therefore they're not that rare. Like
Right.
that's what the reality ended up being. Like I've so
I will never
stuff like that.
forget. I will never forget the video of two people divorcing and dividing up their Beanie Baby collection.
Oh yeah, I remember Beanie
That,
Babies.
like, literally in the space between like the tables where, like, the lawyer and the defendant sit and like the judges stand, like there was just a pile of Beanie Babies and just two grown ass adults, picking which ones they want.
I know for a fact I've got a bunch of Beanie Babies in my garage right now. Some are even in like those like hard case boxes,
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
with the lids like yeah. Cuz my mom was obsessed with collecting whatever fad. I remember growing up. So, yeah. Maybe that's another reason why I feel like the 90s was because my mom like dragged me to all this type of collecting this, collecting that, collecting this, collecting that, like she was obsessed with collecting things, thinking, oh, these are going to be worth something someday. It's like, oh,
And
well,
to be honest, some of them are. Like, I just literally looked up, were Beanie Babies actually valuable? And they're, and it was like the top 10 most valuable Beanie Babies. There's a couple of these that are like tens of thousands of worth tens of thousands of dollars.
shit. I'm sure I don't have any of those.
See, the princess bear, the Princess Diana bear,
Yeah.
that is the most valuable one at $10,000.
We may need to wrap this up because I know for a fact I know for a fact I have one of those.
Oh shit, you do?
I know for a fact.
It is literally
Yes.
the most valuable bear.
Because that was another thing. My mom was like upset. She was one of the people back then who was like obsessed with Princess Diana. Just like now, people are obsessed with whoever. What's the country's fascination with like the royal family?
I
Like
don't know. I don't know. We got rid of him. I mean, come on. What?
that was our whole goal. That's our whole country. Like was founded to, yeah.
We got rid of him. Why are we fascinated with him? But and
Yeah.
oddly enough, last night I saw a TikTok. It was I don't know. It was of that day. It was just some guy's home camera. They were just recording just a bunch of gay guys sitting around playing Uno. And the news is on in the background when the news of Princess Diana dying, and they act exactly like what you would expect when I say a bunch of gay guys watching TV about Princess Diana's death. They They acted exactly how you would expect.
Yeah, this the buy it now, Princess Diana, $14.89 on eBay. Beanie Baby. It's not $10,000.
Well, okay,
There are some, I
this
guess,
is
but
mental floss, and this was a couple years ago.
okay. There are some listed for like crazy amounts. One person has one listed for 900,000, and I'm like,
That's what I was just about to read. As of February 2019, there's one listed on the site for $600,000.
but yeah, I know for a fact I have one of those in the garage, like in one of those plexiglass boxes or whatever kind of boxes those are. Those hard plastic, but along with a bunch of others, at least. I know for a fact we have like the most valuable one, quote valuable ones, still. But anyways, yeah. Just yeah. The 90s. There's so many fads in the 90s that just went by so quickly that I remember. But remember Pogs. Pogs were a thing. We played with circle
Pogs,
card.
Pogs are kind of they're trying to make a comeback.
They've been trying to make a comeback
They're
for
trying to make a
like
comeback.
5 years, I feel like.
I think you're right.
Ever since like the fidget spinners were a thing, I feel like people have been trying to go back to like fads in the 90s and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
but yeah, 90s were 90s were about collecting things. I feel like I don't feel like there's a whole. There are some collecting things now, but like I either I don't notice it or it just doesn't feel like
I mean,
it's as much.
with places like Target saying, we're no longer going to carry these kind of cards because they're causing people to literally fight in stores over these cards. I think that's still a thing.
Oh no, they changed their that I think that died down because my Target has I went to my Target like a few days ago and they're filled. Their section is filled with like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards, and those signs are down and
It was probably a symptom of the pandemic.
the pandemic. Yeah.
Something to fucking do.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That was and
but there's some people who have kept with the collecting though.
You can produce collectible cards a lot easier than you can produce like graphic cards and CPUs and stuff like that. So there's not a shortage on cardboard paper to print stuff on like there is.
Unless they're made overseas and are stuck forever in waiting to come into port.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. So yeah, I noticed that like earlier this week when I was at Target. I was like, oh, they're chock full of like every type of card now. Huh. I wonder if it's died down, or if it's not, then shit, I need to buy some and sell them on eBay then, if that's the nah, I never do that. I don't know. I'm always worried to ever try to like buy extra stuff that people, and try to sell it at a profit, like
Yeah.
like oh I have I have access to a PS5 I can buy that, and then what happens if you can't sell it, I mean that is a bad example, but you know what I mean.
I'm pretty sure you can sell PS5.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
or like the collectible editions of certain games and stuff like that back in the day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I always was like I could do that, but then what if I'm stuck with this? Like, yeah, it's just not worth it. Anyways,
All right. What have you been watching?
I've got season 2 of an anime that I've talked about before. It just wrapped up. My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom, or yeah,
Yes.
X. That's what it's called. The second season is All Routes Lead to Doom X. I don't know why it's, but yeah, second season. There's an X after
Cause
that. But this is an isekai anime. What a shock, you know. Oh my god. Another isekai anime.
well, wait till I start talking about anime.
I've talked about this before, but quick rundown. This is one where the character gets reincarnated, and she doesn't remember until I think, if I remember correctly, she has like a fall or an accident or something where she hits her head, and it somehow jogs her memory of her previous life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so it's not like a oh, remember from your birth or stuff like that, which those I always find weird, especially what's the one that's going on now, the the jobless reincarnate, like that one.
Uh huh.
That one took it in a very weird way, I know we've talked about that before. Yeah, but yeah, it's always weird. Like you're a baby and you have the thoughts of your previous life and all that. It's just very weird. Like,
Yeah.
but this one, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say both of the isekais that I watched that I talked about last time. Um, the assassinate as a or your aristocrat assassin kind of a one, and the paladin animes. They both did that. Like they both, like, as babies they remember, and that literally caused them to they walk and talk at a much younger age, and it was
I mean, you would
weird,
have
and it
to,
was literally
right?
kind of brought up in both of those. Like you're speaking way better than you should.
You'd have to be way more intelligent than a normal baby to
Yes.
be able to have all those memories. Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I thought this one was interesting. It's like, yeah, she didn't remember until like an accident happened, and her life was going the same route as, because she gets reincarnated into a video game she played, and it's like a it's like a dating simulator thing game, I think, where like
A
you
visual novel.
visual novel game, yeah, where you're trying to like, yeah, there's ways to win certain love interests or whatever, and she gets reincarnated as the villain of the game, and she played the game quite a bit, so she's like, oh no, I know what happens to her, or I know what happens to her, or me, I guess now, and so she's trying to do everything to avoid what she calls doom flags, which are like, oh, this happens, this incident happens, and that leads to, me or the villainess getting kicked out of, getting banished or getting kicked out or dying, or all this and that. So the first season was all about like her trying to avoid all that, you know. And the second season, it's it kind of goes a little past that, because she made it to the past of the game, but then like she has a dream of like, where I think she's in her real life, like, or her previous life, and there's something happens and she sees like, oh, there's a sequel to the game, and it's one of those where it's like, oh well, was that just a dream? Am I just like, am I just projecting that because I'm still worried, or like, was that an actual memory, or like there's a lot of cloudiness there. Oh, and of course, everyone's like falls in love with her,
I mean, it's
males
anime.
and females,
It's anime.
males and females,
It's anime.
all her male and female friends. Yeah. And they all fight over her, and
Anime.
she's totally oblivious.
Anime.
Even when her betrothed fiance like makes a move and kisses her, she's still like clueless.
Anime.
Yeah. So, and it's just like, how thick can you be? Like, I know it's anime, but like, yeah, this happens quite a. It's a good anime. I really enjoy it. It's it's nice. I'm liking the change from just the typical male character in an isekai. I'm liking that there's more female characters in isekais now. Because for the longest time, I feel like there just wasn't any. It was just male character, male character, male character in an isekai with a potential harem. That was like, oh, we got to check all the boxes. Type of thing. But we're starting to. They're, I guess they're forced to try to like make the isekais like different in any sort of way now. Because it's been going on for so long, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we've been watching isekais before we even knew what isekai was.
Right. Before it was a term. Right.
Yeah, with like, God, I can't even
Dot hack
remember the
sign.
earliest. Dot hack
Dot hack sign
Digimon.
is the which yeah Digimon. Mm, Tron.
Yeah, like, yeah, Digimon's one of the earliest that I can remember.
Peter
Like,
Pan. Um.
sure, yeah. But that's not isekai anime. That's a. But yeah, it's the same principle. Yeah. So. But yeah, and it's still weird that there's no like official category on like Funimation for isekai yet.
Right.
Even though like half of all the animes are probably isekais on Funimation.
Well, on like my anime list, where it lists every anime ever made, there's still not an isekai genre.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like, because it's
Why the fuck not?
yeah, exactly. It's clearly one of the most popular genres. But yeah, it's a good one. There's some drama to it, but there's a lot of comedy behind it. And her character's like a noble, and in order for her to like, like try to avoid her doom flag, she ends up like changing her whole like the whole character's personality and doing like she starts her own garden, and that gets her in trouble because, oh, you're a noble, you're not supposed to be working out in the fields, or you're not supposed to be climbing trees, or you're not supposed to be doing this or that. Like, there's a lot of funny moments, where she gets like in trouble from her mom, who's like this whole, who's all hoity-toity. And
Okay. Crunchyroll does have an isekai genre, so it is there.
uh, Yeah. I'm looking through an article, just like I was just trying to look up like early isekais or whatever, and this one's like 10 isekai animes that came out before Sword Art Online, and it's like they're ones that came out like way after like Digimon, and Digimon's not even on the list. What's it called? Tenchi Muyo, is that an isekai?
Uh,
I never got into that. I know you're a fan of it, right?
Technically, I mean, it depends on, yeah, yes and no. I mean, all um all of kind of the women around Tenchi are aliens from another world. So it's an easy guy for them. But there is a spin-off though of Tenchi, that is straight up an isekai where like the main character does go to another world.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of spin-offs, right? Like
There's quite a few.
I
There's
remember.
quite a few spin-offs. There's quite a few just reimagining
Okay. Yeah.
of that story.
I never got into it because it's one of those where it's like I look and I see, oh my god, there's so many of these. It's kind of overwhelming. I don't know like what like I'm just not even gonna bother. Let's just watch something that's a lot easier to get my head around with those type of things. Um,
What was the first isekai? Spirited Away. Uh, nope. Pretty sure there's before that.
oh yeah, Inuyasha. That was an early isekai.
Inuyasha was, yes. Wizard of Oz, yes. There's a really early one, Wizard of Oz.
Here we go. Thank God. I find that finally there's a list that includes Digimon. I love Digimon. Like at least the first like cast of you know the first group of kids. Yeah. Then it just got weird. Like every so often I'd peek in on what the current Digimon like show was, and it's they're digivolving with the humans are digivolving with the Digimon.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Oh,
Um,
this Digimon is just guns on top of guns on top of guns on top of guns. Okay. It's
the-
Gunnymon.
yeah. I mean, the names were never that original, anyways. Like
No.
Angemon, Angewomon, Devimon.
Devilmon.
But yeah, Devil. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's one that I just wrapped up, or that just wrapped up not that long ago, but I haven't had a chance to really say too much of it. It's one I would definitely recommend. It's I think it's on. I think I watched it on Verve,
It
so it's
is
on.
it is on my
Crun-
watch list.
Yeah, so it's on Crunchyroll because that's the only anime Verve has now.
Yeah. For
Because
now,
for now, yes.
I'm
Um,
imagining Funimation might come back.
hopefully, if not, they just dissolve Verve.
Yeah. Otherwise, Verve. Uh, you got Cartoon Hangover, Mondo, and Rooster Teeth is leaked. I thought they already would have left. I thought they were until the beginning of this month, but Rooster Teeth is still on here.
I don't know. Yeah. Like the cynical side of me is like, yeah, they're just gonna get rid of Verve and then make people have to pay for Crunchyroll and Funimation separate because they're an evil corporation. That's the cynical side of me. But I want it to be added to. I want that's what I really want. Um, but yeah, they're losing a lot. Yeah, it's like they don't have much.
They
So
used to have a bunch. Now they have nothing.
oh yeah, yeah.
Damn you, Warner Brothers.
Then High Dive, they left like
I think that was part of the
in August.
that was part of the Warner Brothers buying Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Like that's literally why all of the stuff that was on there left.
You mean Sony buying?
Sony, yes. No, Warner
Yeah.
Brothers used to own them. Warner Brothers sold
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was what it was.
I was like, wait,
Nope.
Sony owns them.
Warner Brothers used to own them. That was it. Sony owns them.
Sony owns the majority of anime distribution in the US now. So, alrighty, what's another thing you got?
Oh well, the other documentary that I watched will come as a shock to you. I watched a documentary series. Well, I only watched 2 episodes so far, called Bad Sport. It is
Oh.
every episode is literally like a controversy that had to deal with a particular incident in sports. The first episode was about shit. It was college basketball. And let's see, who was it? Arizona State. The 94 Arizona State basketball point shaving scandal.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this talks about kind of a basketball player who was well on his way to going to the NBA, but because, colleges, they don't pay, their athletes anything, and some of them, don't, they don't have anything. So they're like one guy, one of the former players was saying he was going to his neighbor saying, "Hey, do you have food?" And meanwhile, the colleges just rank in the money from them doing.
Unless it was like a under the table scammy sort of thing, because that came out not too long ago that there was a lot of that going on in college.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that too. But a bookie kind of got his claws into one of kind of like the star player at the time, and like, hey, if you only win by this much, I can give you $20,000. So, and yeah, it's all about that. The next one, I just looked at the episode name. It's called "The Need for Weed," and it's about this was early mid 80s. A race car driver was smuggling weed. I'm not talking about like a little bit of weed. I'm talking about like 10 tons of weed.
Holy crap.
Like this was like he had like he was bringing in like the largest like one of his shipments was like the largest shipment of weed ever smuggled into the U.S. Like this guy was bringing in a lot of marijuana, and it was all to fund his racing habit. Like usually, like, oh, you doing the racing only to fund your drug habit? No. He was doing. He had the drug habit so he could fund his racing habit.
That's weird.
It was weird. Like he won like the rookie of the year for IndyCar like the year before. Like a lot of this went down. Like he was, an up and coming kind of racer. And at the time, this was Reagan. Had this kind of zero tolerance in any kind of drug bust. It was life without parole. It was quite harsh, and it was interesting. I'm thinking like, yeah, he got life. How are we talking to this guy? Like we're like he's going places, and then it comes out, Obama, came out with like the non-violent drug offenses. That's too harsh, and the dude got a pardon from the president, and now he's a spokesperson for medical marijuana.
I mean, okay. If they want to do that, then sure. But
Yep.
I'm sure they could find someone a lot more recognizable though to be a spokesperson.
I mean, at the time, I mean, this is Randy Lehner. I forget how to say his last name. Like he was kind of big at the time, but like
But now though, like,
well, we don't know him because he was big before we were born. But our parents and stuff, like my dad might probably knows this guy's name. Still, dude,
the medical marijuana.
Dude brought in the largest amount of marijuana in the U.S. history. I'm pretty sure, he's well known in the weed market.
Maybe. Yeah.
So
interesting
though. Those are the only two that I've watched so far. There's there's Soccergate. That's like the next episode. There's one about the 2002 Winter Olympics of Russia, kind of paying off some of the figure skating judges. There's one that has to do with just the episode title is Horse Hitman. So
okay.
That tells you about see, Tommy Byrne looks back and regrets his disturbing days of killing show horses as part of an insurance fraud scheme.
That's just horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah. Like, who cares about the fraud thing? Just the fact that you're killing a majestic living creature. Like,
yeah,
it's just bad.
And then the final episode is about cricket and match fixing. And
okay.
on cricket.
Some obscure like things.
Well, I mean, it's all about kind of illegal stuff that went on in the sports.
And cases that probably didn't get the limelight, like because it wasn't something that happened in the NBA or the NFL. you know.
or but stuff that was done and then quickly forgot about.
Yeah, because I don't know. The people who do follow cricket, like they probably did forget about if they did know about that, or yeah. God, it's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. It
I
was
like some of those sports documentaries. There's a lot of interesting stuff from
I I
some of those
I honestly
things.
enjoy sports documentaries more than I do watching sports.
Yeah.
So,
My favorite is the 30 for 30s, like the ESPN 30 for 30s.
oh yeah, yeah. My dad owns like a DVD set of a bunch of those.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Okay.
All right, what have you been watching?
Something else. Let's go to probably other shows and stuff I've been watching. I just can't really think of anything. Um, but a movie I've been watching came out last month called Red Note.
Oh, okay. I know about the this one.
Yeah, this is
I heard it got
a Netflix
shit reviews.
movie.
Like that was that
I
was that was kind of
honestly
the thing
don't know.
that I remember hearing about this was it had like a huge cast but was getting awful reviews.
Let's look this up. Yeah, this stars. Oh, well, it's a huge difference from the tomato meter and the audience score. The tomato meter it's a 36. The audience score is a 92. So you, the critics didn't like it, but
Okay,
the
I actually thought it was the other way around. Gotcha. I thought the
yeah
audience
the critics
audience didn't
didn't
like it.
like it, but the audience absolutely loved it. I mean, like it'd be hard to really mess up, a movie with Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and Gadot.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I have too. But yeah. So the whole premise of this is Ryan Reynolds, he's like a art thief. So is Gal Gadot or Gadot. Yeah.
Wonder
And
Woman.
The Rock, yeah. The Rock is like a I don't know if it's like FBI agent or he's some type of like I can't remember like which actual, but he's some type of like US agent, you know, type of thing. FBI, CIA, whatever, doesn't really matter. It's some suit type, you know, agency. And he's like investigating and trying to stop. There's this whole thing of like these three golden eggs that were supposedly Cleopatra's, and there's been only like one or two there's only been two known, and then one's been hidden for so long, and blah 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 blah, and then they're super valuable if they're all three ever together, and so Ryan Reynolds, it gets to the point where like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock have to like work together to like kind of stop Gal Gadot's character. And it's just when you have that much charisma on the screen, like
Right?
it's I mean it's hard to mess up. There is some moments in it where I'm like, oh, that's a green screen. I feel like that's a green screen right there. Like, ooh, you paid these like it's like like the most of the budget went to paying the actors type thing. Not too many, but there was just a couple, and it did. But overall, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Um,
I've definitely seen this advertised a lot on TikTok.
Oh yeah, they did the three did like, the media circuits, and they did TikToks and other stuff like that for it.
There was actually there was a funny one. It was kind of related to this. Where Reynolds and Will Ferrell, they were going to go
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
Jimmy Fallon. One was going to be. I think it was Will Ferrell was going to be on Jimmy
Jimmy
Fallon,
Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel.
and Ryan was going to be on Jimmy Kimmel. They
Yep.
switched and went to each other's, and
I
didn't.
actually saw the. I've seen bits and pieces of that, but I actually saw the full clip today. Funny enough. Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It was hilarious. Like, did you see the? Did you happen to see anything on that? Like,
Well, I watched the Jimmy Fallon one. I didn't watch all of the Jimmy Kimmel one.
yeah, it was hilarious. Like Ryan Reynolds trying to describe what movie the movie that like
It was a TV show, or it's a like a
or
like
it's an Apple TV.
Apple TV.
I don't know if it's a movie or what, but
I
yeah,
think it's a
like,
series.
is it okay? Yeah, he's like, oh, it's Ant-Man, and he's a shrink, but he's not like shrinking, like like just went on and on and on, and just like, oh my god, wow, yeah. It's just that's like the perfect, like, Ryan Reynolds can do no wrong there. Like, just he was just going on and on about just the most random stuff. It's great. I've I've been a I was thinking about this the other day. I've been a Ryan Reynolds fan for like over 20 years now. Like, because I remember watching him on TGI Fridays, like, because he was on a show called with what was it called? He was on a show with Nathan Fillion, two guys, a girl, and a pizza place,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like in the like either early 2000s or late 90s.
Both.
Yeah,
It started in the early 90s and went to the early 2000s.
yeah, 98. So yeah, I've been a fan of Ryan Reynolds for over 20 years, which is just like, it's just crazy to think of that. Like, I'm not that old to be like I am that old. Oh my god. Like, yeah.
Yes, were we talking about gray hairs before the episode?
Yeah, that's true, but I've been getting gray hairs for a while now though. So and it runs in my family early age, so that doesn't mean much. But yeah, this movie, it's pretty good. It's just under 2 hours, so it's not like super long. It feels a good length. It didn't feel like anything was like unnecessary, like filler, for instance. It seems like half these movies that are like over 2 hours are just like filled with like a scene or two that's just filler because they're wanting to make a movie longer to appeal audiences because they think longer movies people will see. But it was nice. There's a few surprises in this movie. I'll just say that. So they kind of leave it open for a sequel, maybe. Like they leave it open for a sequel, I should say. Whether or not there will ever be a sequel, who knows?
Right.
But they do the smart thing and they leave it open for 4-1 in case they ever want to go back to this. But it was enjoyable. I liked it. I'd recommend people check it out. 92 audience score. I'd put it in the 80s.
Okay.
But that's still really good.
That's still good. That's still good.
That's still good. But that And I'm also biased because, like, I'm a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So, and these two together is just like, it's magic. Like, I love it. So yeah, that's a Netflix original like movie. So that's the only place you can watch it. It's Netflix. And I think it got a lot. I think I want to say it was like it's real popular. It was real popular on Netflix too.
Yes, I definitely remember seeing it on the top 10.
Yeah. Okay. Red Notice is now Netflix most watched film. So there you go.
There you go.
You can't get more popular than that. So yeah. So Stuart, you and you're probably one of the only people who haven't watched this yet.
Probably.
So it's good. It's enjoyable. And Gal Gadot being sexy Gal Gadot, of course, in this. So what's not to love about that?
Right. Right.
So, what's something else you got?
Oh God, I just looked on the Netflix top 10. Single all the way. Yeah. Just gonna leave it there.
Is that what I think it is?
No idea who's in it. No idea who's in it. But it's just single all the way.
Do you know they made a Jingle All the Way too?
No.
I think it was with Larry the Cable Guy.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah, it was 2014.
Uh
Yeah, that's a thing. So that just popped in my head, reminded me. I discovered that recently. Like I think it was on TikTok or something. I discovered that like, oh, they made a sequel to that movie. Wow.
in 2014.
Hmm.
That I would say was is well after the Larry the Cable Guy kind of peak.
Yeah, but still like good for the straight to DVD type movies that he's not big enough to be in a mainstream movie, but still, a recognizable name to be in a, like C tier movie like that.
Just look at the Rotten Tomato score. No critics have reviewed this. None. And it's got an
Oh God.
audience score of 30.
Oh, that's pretty bad when no critics. Like it doesn't even have a score. Like
Well, and you also might like, and none of these also have critic scores, like Ace Ventura Jr. Pet Detective.
that was a thing.
I remember that being a thing. Okay. I
Yeah,
just
that
saw.
was a bit of
I just
a tangent.
I just saw other movies. Like what? Didn't knew that was a thing. A spaceman in King Arthur's court.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Disney movie, by the way.
Was that related to like a king or kid in King Arthur's court? Or
Well, I mean that whole story. That's a Mark Twain novel. A Yankee
okay.
in King Arthur's court. That's a Mark Twain novel. So I mean,
Yeah, because they had the kid in King Arthur's
right,
court
which is
and the kid in
what I remember.
Aladdin's palace.
Yes, I don't remember that one, but I definitely remember a kid in King Arthur's court.
Yeah, they made a. I think it was with the same kid with the Aladdin's palace. I think that's on Disney Plus actually, even. But yeah.
Anywho, this is looks like a fascinating fucking movie. Anyway, what I watched, and I could have talked about this last week, but I was talking about too many isekais. No, I literally forgot. The fruit of evolution. Before I knew it, my life had it made. This is it's an isekai, but the ones I talked about last time, they were serious isekais. This one's a goofy ass one, where like the main character, he's fat and he's bullied like hard in his by his classmates, and the entire class gets notified you are about to be teleported to another world. So gather together to be sure that you all teleport to the same place. And the entire class gathers together, to group up. But the bullies kind of don't let the main character in. So he gets teleported somewhere else and is not teleported with the rest of the class.
Okay.
And he's kind of like in the middle of the woods of this forest, and he's has no survival skills, and he manages to steal this fruit from a bunch of monkeys, and he eats it and gets kind of a power up. And he using the isekai thing of like, oh, I can see all my stats and pull up a menu like a video game kind of a thing. This fruit is called the fruit of evolution, and if you eat 10 of them, you get a major you evolve. But if you eat 11 of them, you die.
Okay.
So he eats 10 and he gets this major, like he becomes skinny, he becomes very OP, like insanely OP. And he then the queen of the apes that he kind of stole the fruit from confronts him and punches him, and he survives, which kind of shocks her, and she instantly falls in love with him because he's strong, and she's all about people who are stronger than her, and because she's so strong, and she's an ape, by the way, and like so it's basically him trying to get away from this ape, and her just kind of like, nope, get back here.
Oh, okay.
And eventually she eats 10 of the fruit. She evolves into a pretty girl.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Anime.
Anime. And because anime, he then goes out and meets other people. Ladies fall in love with him instantly. Another adventurer. He buys a donkey. She eats the fruit. She transforms into a person, into a pretty girl.
That's not how evolution works.
Don't question anime. Don't question anime.
No. Do they evolve into like actual human or humanoids? Like, are there still traces of their previous animal?
Well,
like, do they have a tail or
No, they don't. But
okay.
like, and it wasn't until like I think it was like the last a couple episodes back where like the ape girl transformed back into the ape to go like, no, look, see, oof, I was an ape, and then transforms back. So like they have the ability, I guess, to transform back.
So it's disappointing for the furry community.
Wasn't even thinking about that, but okay.
Uh,
But it's a very comical anime. Um, and you
sounds
get
bizarre.
glimpses of what his classmates are going through. They're not doing so well. Like they're like um like they were basically like the king that summoned them basically sold them to be and to be slaves.
Oh,
So like
okay.
they're not doing well. And I'm like, okay, we get like that short storyline that's going on with the other class, and he's doing amazing. I want them to fucking meet up. And I want him to kick the shit out of the bullies because I love that story of dude comes back and beats bully's ass. Or just shows him up. Like, oh yeah, yeah, you were stuck, at this school and being a slave. Um, yeah, I've got this harem of women and I'm super powerful. You know
This is a weird image.
that that will essentially is what's going to happen with this anime.
Okay.
So
So I'm just looking just to like I googled it and I'm looking through images and I just came across one where he's kissing her in her monkey form.
yes, because she was dying. She was dying, and it showed the king of the forest. That like, oh look, love can actually last between two species, and plot.
Just a weird image to see if you don't have any context though.
No, it was a weird scene, even if you had the context.
Okay, okay.
But it was like there was definitely a kind of a lead up to that, like him, trying to get away, trying to escape her, and ignoring, her expressing her love and all that kind of stuff, and then she ends up sacrificing herself to save him. That kind of it's literally that.
Okay.
It's like,
Gotcha.
oh, you were there for me. I do
I,
love
I
you.
mean, he's crying while kissing her, so yeah, I figured there's some like emotionalness
Yeah,
behind it. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely that.
And like she's all like glowy and there's sparkles and yeah, it's anime.
It's goofy,
Well,
and I really kind of like. I really like it.
it's probably the easiest way to explain something like that's bizarre. It's anime.
It's
Like
anime.
it's anime.
It's anime. Title of this episode, it's anime.
Yeah.
All right, what have you been watching?
I've only got two other things that I think. Um,
Okay.
One I know you watched. I think so. Certain show on Disney Plus.
Yes.
So I guess we'll wait till that. Uh, I'll quickly, not spoilery. Ghostbusters Afterlife. I saw that.
Oh, okay. I, that one is what I'm hearing either good things or bad things.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's definitely how do I say this without it sounding bad? Um,
Too late.
it definitely feels like a kids movie,
Okay.
but there is a lot of stuff in there for like the older generation of Ghostbuster fans.
Well, the director was actually the director's son from the first one, right? I think so.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
That's kind of kind of interesting. But I didn't realize this, but this movie takes place in Oklahoma. um, I can't remember. Like, I, I can't remember if I looked it up or not to see if like that was a real place in Oklahoma or if it was just like made up city, they made up name for a town in Oklahoma, type of thing.
Sure.
Um, I I can't remember. This was a little bit ago. Let me look up. Because unfortunately, that seems to be this case. Whenever something takes place in Oklahoma, it's always never a real place. They always make up a place.
Okay, I'm right. The director is the director's son. Uh, from the first movie.
Wait a minute. Somerville, Oklahoma. Yeah, I don't know if that's a real place or not. Doesn't sound like a real place. No, it's not a real place. Yeah, I was about to say. Doesn't sound like a real place and doesn't sound familiar. Um
Well,
yeah,
just
so
like
that's
oh, Stranger Things takes place in a fake town in Indiana. So
yeah. But then occasionally there's was it in the comics, like after Ragnarok, Asgard is in Broxton, Oklahoma, and it's like that's a real place. But the MCU decided to make it Sweden or wherever
Norway.
instead. Norway. There we go. Yeah, not Oklahoma, which I was upset about because yeah. But anyways,
Well,
yeah. So
also it would be
something.
interesting to see that a floating city because it was also a floating city in Oklahoma too.
Yeah. Well, originally it wasn't, but then he was like, fine, and he made it float. Yeah, he made it rise. He's like, I'm not on your property. Yeah. That was the whole case of that. But yeah. But yeah, so Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's definitely kid friendly. Um but I feel like it's a movie everyone can enjoy. A good overall family movie. There are some kind of like scenes that might be a little spooky for younger children, so it's definitely you want to have if you're watching if you're a parent watching this with a younger kid, you definitely want to be there, just for that for that. But because there are a few spooky moments. There are a lot of connections to because this does take place in the same universe as the other Ghostbuster movies, and
Right. It's Egon's daughter and her kids.
yeah. There's a lot of building up, a lot of kind of confusing things throughout the movie that ends up like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, good on you for like building up and actually explaining stuff, callbacks from the beginning type of thing. The writing felt pretty good for this. I thought. Um, the the kids the kids the kids playing like the characters, they were all right. I mean, nothing, too outrageous or anything, like just like, oh, it's the little nerdy awkward girl who's a genius and can do all this stuff, and oh, she finds all the Ghostbuster stuff and can knows how to use it all and knows how it works because she's that smart. And it's like, okay, it's that type of movie trope. And then it's like, oh, it's the awkward, nerdy male teen boy who's, trying to impress this one girl and, all this, there's a lot of those type of tropes,
Right.
Um, Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd,
Uh-huh.
sexiest man alive.
Yes.
Because that's a thing, apparently.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of that on TikTok. So, there is, I think, 2 mid-credit / ending credit scene things. So, like, there's, don't just get up and walk away if you do, if you're gonna go see this, wait, because there are other stuff. It was enjoyable. I'm really trying not to spoil it because I know you want to see this for sure
Yes, I do.
eventually. Yeah. So, but it was enjoyable. I really liked it. I thought it was good. I did not see the monstrosity that was whatever the female Ghostbuster movie. So I didn't see that. So, but I've been looking forward to this for a bit, and this is one that was like really upset was that it was delayed due to COVID. Like, because ever since we saw the trailers for this, it was like, oh, this looks like it's, it's a slightly different take on Ghostbusters because it's focusing on the kids, but it still has that feel to it. It still has that fun, comedy feel to it with a little bit of spooky elements here and there. So that's I would recommend it for sure. Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's good movie. I enjoyed it. And yeah. So what else have you got? Because you got more than I do. So
Yeah, I got one. Let's say one more thing. One thing that I know you've seen at least part of it, but I'm not sure if you've seen the rest of it because you told me about it a year ago. Arcane.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I've not finished it. I still have like 3 or 4 episodes to go. But this shit, it's good. And I have no connection at all. I've played League of Legends, but that was years ago. And that, maybe a couple matches. And that's about it. And I could also be confusing League of Legends with Heroes of New Earth. So I don't know which is which because they're the exact same fucking game to me.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This is one where it came out and I didn't really kind of know it came out, and because it's like not a lot of or at least I didn't see a lot of advertisement for this necessarily.
When it came out, I didn't see anything, but since I have.
Yeah, and it's just and by the time I realized, I'm like, oh, they're on like episode 8 or of this, huh?
Well, there's only
Maybe
nine episodes, and it's fully out now.
Oh, it's fully out now?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, I'd definitely get on to watching that. Yeah, because I saw like it was either 8 or 9. Yeah, I just assumed like, oh, there's gonna be like 10 at least, because not 9's a weird number to end on.
That's 9.
But okay, then yeah. But I still have only seen, I think, the first episode, or I can't remember if it was the first or the first 2.
I wouldn't have been surprised if you saw the first 3, because the first 3 are a nice contained story, and then after the 3rd episode, there's a time jump. Where it's
the time jump. Okay, yeah, then I have
those episodes. It's those characters, but older.
Because the last part I remember was seeing the little sister, the time jump, and seeing the I forget the characters' names, but the little sister, like she's older and
Yes,
she yeah. Yeah.
and she's
So
insane. I mean, she is in the game that she's insane.
yeah.
It's a very kind of Joker, Harley Quinn kind of a thing with her.
Yeah, which
Um,
I was part of like a or test thing where I saw this like over a year ago and wasn't able to say anything about it. And I've been frustrated. I've been
yeah,
frustrated. I've been frustrated.
yeah. You remember you told me about it, and I didn't say anything to anybody, but it was you said it was very good, and it is very good.
Yeah. And it's I was like, it's very good, and I have no context for League of Legends at all.
No,
You know?
and I don't either. But like while I was watching, I think it was a second episode. I started looking stuff up. Like, okay, what's this character's name in the game? Kind of what is their in game uh bio? Kind of that kind of a thing. Um, so I kind of got some stuff before I saw it on screen. Um, and also looking stuff about it. I didn't realize there's a lot of people who fucking hate Imagine Dragons. Like they're
Oh yeah,
vehemently they hate
they're
them. I'm like,
they're
okay,
kind of the new Nickelback. Like
I fucking like Imagine Dragons.
they're
So
all right.
I like them.
I don't hate them. Yeah,
I don't hate them.
like I've liked what I've listened to them or of them, but it's not like I'd like seek them out or anything.
Now
It's just like, oh,
I will say this: there was definitely a fourth wall breaking moment that definitely took me out of the show when Imagine Dragons fucking showed up in the show.
what?
Like
How?
they're literally in like they're characters and they're literally playing that the enemy theme song like in the show.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Other like animated stuff has done that kind of before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's definitely kind of like you don't quite met you match the art, but your faces are different than everybody
The
else's.
art
The
style
art
is
is
gorgeous.
really good.
It's great.
It's got this kind of
It's so dark and just, but yet it's the colors pop whenever there are colors.
it's a very kind of graphic novel kind of look to it, like paintbrushed kind of a look that I really kind of like. Like it's a paintbrush, but definitely 3D. And I really like the art. It's really good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you have not talked about this yet, or you have not brought this up yet.
Yeah. Well, I had thought originally I only watched like I thought because it was so long ago. I was like, surely I only saw the first episode of this, but apparently I watched the first three. If that's where the time jump, because I remember like
Well, it's
yeah,
episode 4. That's when it starts after the time jump.
yeah. I remember at the end it showed like it was it was the end of a certain episode, whatever it was like showed her the young sister older with like the scientist dude, I want to say, or the evil guy, the
I mean, episode
that she was
3
with.
it ends with her as a little girl in like hugging the eye dude. The dude with the freaking eye.
Okay.
Um
I mean, this
that's
was like a year ago,
right.
so it
So
could have been like everything could have been re-edited differently
yes.
into yeah. So
So yeah, what you probably saw probably does not match what's out now.
yeah, gotcha. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna start from the beginning though and watch through it all again, just because to refresh myself. And yeah, because man, I just remember like thinking, oh, this is amazing. Like this is so good. This is too
It's
this should not be this good. Like
it was really good, and it is getting a season 2, but we're probably gonna have to wait a while for it.
oh yeah, definitely.
Like
I
I
imagine
don't
this took a
think.
long time to make.
Well, apparently this was rumored for like 9 years.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't think it's going to
I'm
take
sure this was
nine
expensive.
years
So
to make season 2, but I'm expecting maybe 2023, 2024.
yeah, probably 2023. Yeah, but yeah, it's great. You know, I've I'm probably gonna watch. This is probably gonna be the next thing I watch. Actually, thinking about it now, because I was I remember I didn't know there was only 9 episodes. That's the thing. Like I saw 9 was out. Like episode 9 was out or whatever. By the time I really realized, and yeah, so
Well,
I was just like, okay, it's
I'll put it
almost done.
I'll
So
put it this way. Netflix says watch all of season 1 now.
okay, yeah, then
Yeah, and there are 9.
okay, cool. Yeah.
And I've watched 5.
So yeah, definitely we can maybe get into this more next time. Next time,
Yes.
because I'll definitely watch it all and you'll have it finished. So
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, it's so gorgeous looking. That's the thing that like that was my biggest takeaway was like it just looks amazing. Like and that has to be like the most expensive part is making it look that good.
Definitely.
So yeah. Still no, like I mean, like they other games need to do this. Like, there's still no like Overwatch, right? Like,
Blizzard should have done something like this fucking years ago. Like they have all the properties to make amazing shows and to go
and their
outside.
cinematics are for games are amazing, right? Like
Absolutely.
their WoW stuff, and
Like,
yeah,
they've got, deep lore stuff with World of Warcraft. They got StarCraft stuff that they could definitely go deeper into. They got Diablo, Overwatch. They have stuff that they could do, but they won't do it because instead what they're doing is laying people off and um being an absolute shit company.
yeah, it seems to be a par for the course. Yeah, but yeah, there's a I'm excited at the process because we're seeing a lot of like I feel like we're seeing more and more of these like video game adaptations that are like animated properties and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's
Um
been some good stuff. Like I need to go back and actually watch more of the Castlevania one because I've actually only ever seen the first season of that.
I've seen maybe to the second season,
Yeah.
but yeah, this Castlevania, Witcher, both, the
I still need to
both
watch that.
both
Yeah,
the
the
show
animated one.
and the movie. There's a Dota thing that came out. I have no idea whether that's good or bad. I've not heard a single thing about that one.
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, I
That one's
forgot that
just,
came
it's
out till you
silent,
said. Yeah.
so I don't know whether that's good or bad. I know there are talks of a Halo show.
I mean, there is a Halo show. Like, it's gonna be a Paramount Plus now.
Yes.
They even casted Master Chief like a while ago.
Which, hey, they're
It's a
doing it right this time and actually having Master Chief in the damn thing.
yeah, it's it was a character from Orange, or an actor from Orange is the New Black. He's gonna be Master Chief.
Okay. I've seen
Yeah,
it, so I have no idea. I have no idea.
he was kind of a scumbag character in the show, so it's gonna be interesting to see him be Master Chief. I guess I don't know. I've never seen him in anything else besides that. I think so. Yeah, but I mean, it just we had all these movie adaptations of video games, and it's like that's not the only option anymore. Like
Right. And they've all
animation,
been, and a lot of like the movies and stuff that have come out, not good.
yeah, like animation's an option now, though. Like
I
an
I
animated
don't.
show.
Oh shit! How well was that Monster Hunter movie received? I still kind of want to see it.
Oh, I do too, just because, like, I don't know.
It's got a 45 on Rotten Tomatoes and an audience score of 70. That's not
Okay,
awful.
I kind of expected the same quality of like the Resident Evil movies because it is the same director and star. So,
Yeah. Well,
and I,
this is Paul W. S. Anderson.
yeah, he did
Did
the
he do
Resident Evils.
Resident
Yeah.
Evils? He
Paul
did.
W.S. Anderson is different than Wes Anderson.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You
I think
are
we've had this
right
conversation
there.
before.
You're probably right, and we'll probably have it again at some point.
Yeah. I've made that mistake in the past. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, him and Mia Jovovich are married.
Well, it makes sense on why she's in all of his fucking movies.
Yeah. 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 I think he also did that Three Musketeers movie.
You are correct.
With like Orlando Bloom, and I think she was in that too. I want to say maybe, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, but I was never a Resident Evil fan, and I enjoyed those movies for what they were. You know, action popcorn movies. So I kind of feel like that Monster Hunter movie I might enjoy for the same thing. You know, same reason, just a silly dumb movie to watch. But yeah, also because I don't know the Monster Hunter lore, so I don't have that comparison. But yeah, for the
Sure,
most part, like
and it's
all
got
these,
Tony Jaa in it, which I absolutely love. Tony Jaa.
yeah, but it's like you don't need to make these crazy high risk blockbuster movies. You could make a Netflix show, or show an animated show on Hulu, or whatever, to get the point. Like do that, like just and you can you can do a lot more with animation than you can like a live action. I feel, because yeah, but I'm glad we're seeing more of that. Is my thing. But yeah, we're still getting like, oh, we're getting a Borderlands live action movie, hooray!
Bet you that won't do well.
With the director of the Hostel movies,
Oh God.
starring Kate Blanchett and uh, Kevin Hart and
The thing with video
Jack
game movies,
Black. Yeah.
oh, they do so much
Yeah.
better animated because it's so much easier to wrap your mind around the fantastical things that happen in video games. So
Yeah,
it's so much easier to stay in that world than if you see them in in live action. Like, oh, that CGI is looks like shit because it's not Marvel.
or they want a Nolan Nolanify it, like make it the realistic version of Batman,
Right.
for example, or or stuff, the realistic version of whatever this is type thing. And it's like, no, that's not why I like, you know, Halo. That's not why I like the story of Halo.
Right.
I like the story of Halo because it's sci-fi and it's not realistic. Like, or Borderlands. I like it because it's not realistic. God, that's gonna be a. I don't have faith on that movie at all. That Borderlands. But yeah, look at us, another tangent.
Right. That's what we do.
Yeah,
I guess we can get into Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. It's halfway done.
Is it? Are they only doing
It is.
6 episodes? Okay.
Yeah, that's the norm for these Disney Plus shows, right? 6 episodes.
I feel like the others were a little bit longer.
I'll look it up now.
As am I.
But yeah, I know Falcon and the Winter Soldier was only 6. I know that. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see. What if was 9?
6.
Loki was 6.
Well, I mean, the live actions, I think, were maybe WandaVision was more. Maybe not. Yeah, WandaVision was 9, but yeah.
Okay.
Loki and Falcon were 6, and yeah. So, yeah. But yeah.
All right.
It's leading up to
Hawkeye.
Christmas, though, because it's a Christmas show.
Technically, yes. Hawkeye and Kate Bishop.
Huge inspiration, or basically it's an adaptation of the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye.
I guess. Honestly, I know so little about the storyline that's going on. I know
The
nothing.
Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye is I think it's like an award-winning, it's the go-to. Like, you ask any comic book fan, they'll be like, yeah, that's the Hawkeye run to read. And it has like Pizza Dog, and it has the tracksuit mafia, and it's Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and it's got a lot of those like same things. There's some weird characters in this though, like the do you know who the guy who's dating Kate Bishop's mom, like, or his fiance with, like, do you know anything about him?
The character?
Yeah.
No. Swordman.
His name is Swordmaster.
I'm seeing Swordman.
I thought it was Swordmaster.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jacques Delacroix Swordman.
Okay, he in the comics, he was an Avenger, so it's kind of weird that, like, he's kind of being alluded as an evil character.
He's very he it's very alluded that he's the antagonist. And he's not helping this situation at all. It's not just it's not just Kate going, I don't like my stepdad. Although, would you really call it a stepdad when you're in your 20s?
I mean, I technically, but like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But she his big thing in the comics is he has a kid with Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Interesting.
And their kid becomes I think the Cosmic Madonna is what it's called.
Sure.
Something like that. Might be Celestial Madonna. I don't know. I remember
Celestial
this
Messiah.
Messiah. Okay. Yeah, I remember this from a a YouTube comic book channel that I saw a story run of like a while ago. Like this was a couple years ago, and it was like they were making fun of of the character Swordman or whatever. Or like
Okay.
he's just nobody, and yeah.
The prophecy read that one day the perfect human female would be created, the Celestial Madonna.
Yeah, okay, so
It would have a union with a perfect male, with a male plant of a Kote race. From their union would spring the perfect child, who would be the Celestial Messiah, being destined to change the universe.
Okay, Sequoia is I think, yeah. It's the actual character's name. So it's a weird character to have in Hawkeye, is what I'm saying. Like,
Apparently, the perfect female was actually 3 women: Mantis, Scarlet Witch, and Agatha Harkness.
oh my god, that's kind of
Oh
interesting.
no, it could be one of those 3. That's what it's.
Okay,
It could be either Mantis, Scarlet Witch, or Agatha Harkness.
so you heard it here. There's gonna be a Mantis cameo in Hawkeye. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's a weird, obscure character, and it's like that's like this is what like Swordman or whatever his character, like that's what his biggest like thing in the comics, as far as I know, like was this thing, and it's not a real like known thing. So yeah. Anyways, I'm enjoying Hawkeye. Like it's a real good street level like story, I feel like.
And it hasn't fully like grabbed me. Like it's not bad, but like it just hasn't gone like, oh,
Really.
I've got to see till next episode.
Oh, this third episode grabbed me. Like I really enjoyed it, and the internet's been freaking out about it because, oh my god, Kingpin, Kingpin, Kingpin.
There was a Kingpin
And
connection that I missed.
when Echo, her father died, and he said, "Take care of my daughter" or whatever, and apparently you saw like a little bit of somebody or whatever. Apparently that's Kingpin, or people are thinking it's Kingpin, or like this has been all over like the internet. Like people have like analyzed, and yeah. I've told you like half my TikTok is like Marvel related stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing you don't really get any,
I get none.
which is crazy. I guess I don't know, but
I get a lot of D&D, and I get a lot of
that's
cosplay,
It's
I get
my
a lot of
like
anime.
other half. Yeah.
But yeah, so far it's good. Like I'm not it's not bad, but it just hasn't like
Yeah.
fully like grabbed me yet.
Oh, I loved the chase scene in the car and all that whole like sequence was I thought was great. It was
I
fun.
loved the Pym arrow.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
That was cool.
Like it came out of nowhere. I was like, what? Oh, also the was it the Hawkeye like the speaking of what's it called? TikTok. I saw a TikTok where it was like a USB arrow. It was like clip like USB arrow. What am I supposed to do with this? And then it shows like was it in What If
Yes.
USB arrow being shot into the eye of like
Uh-huh.
it's like,
Like,
oh yeah.
oh wait, we've seen that before, but now we're just seeing that. Was there a USB arrow in Arrow?
Probably, yeah.
Like there had to have been a USB arrow
I
in
mean, there
that.
was a USB arrow in Avengers too, or Avengers also,
I remember it.
because he shoots the. I think he shoots whatever to hack into whatever. A lot of people forget Hawkeye was kind of a badass when he was taking over when he was under Loki's control.
Oh
Like
sure.
having watched Avengers recently, I was again like I was like, oh yeah, Hawkeye. He took down. They pretty much they almost took down the Helicarrier. Like him and just a random group of people controlled by yeah. So, but yeah, I love that the Pym arrow was it was so good. It came out of nowhere, and then you see like Pym on it, and just like oh my god, and then turns into the giant arrow. Great. Fantastic. Like it kind of sucks that Hawkeye's get it, like this should have been Hawkeye should have gotten this type of stuff like years ago. I feel like
Yeah.
same same with like how we said like the Black Widow like movie. Like she should have had her own
That should have
thing
been
like
years ago, yeah. That
long time
that
ago.
that should have came out when it took place.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. But what do you think? I really Haley Steinfeld. She's great.
She's really good. I I have no issues with her whatsoever.
She's fantastic. I feel like, and I love the connection to Avengers we got at the beginning, where it's her as a kid during the New York.
I'm surprised
I know a
she
lot of
hasn't
people.
brought that up yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of waiting for. Yeah. Um, I know people apparently people don't like that they keep connecting New York. Like the like they keep going back to that. Like but I kind of like that because it's like it's showing it's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected,
Like
and like what we're also supposed to go to like connect like these big events.
exactly. And also in the Marvel universe, like 98% of the universe is in New York, and it's only like 2%
Correct.
it's other places. So, but I kind of talked to you about this before last week. Rogers the musical, I loved. There's an actual full version of the song because they actually got Broadway like directors and stuff to work on it. They got the main guy from the musical Rent in the movie. I think he did the musical and the movie Rent, which is what I like. One of the first things I noticed, I was like, that sounds like the dude from Rent, because I was a fan of Rent, and it was I looked up and was like, oh yeah, oh there's a whole version of this song, and it's well written too. Like if you listen to the full version of the song, it's pretty good. I love what was it? Another TikTok thing I saw was they mentioned how Hawkeye or Clint points out Ant-Man wasn't there.
Right.
Technically he was. He was there during that event. People could have accidentally seen him because they went back in time to New York.
Very true. I honestly did not think about that.
People could have seen him hanging out with like Iron Man or Captain. They definitely could have if you think about it.
I totally forgot. Like, yeah, people could have seen him there.
Yeah.
That totally set my mind. Like, oh yeah, that's funny because yeah, he wasn't there.
But wait, is
But
that
he
how
was
the
there.
is that how time travel in the multiverse works in the Marvel universe? Who knows? Who knows anymore now?
Oh
Like,
no, yeah, you just like
yeah,
we've had this conversation about how fucking time travel in this series works.
they keep changing it though. They keep changing it. Like,
Uh,
like it made perfect sense in Endgame, the way they talked about it. But then there's been so many other things that have come out and, you know, whatever, that's just like, why'd you have to muddy the everything? Like, ugh. But yeah, so that's something I saw and I was like, "Oh yeah, he was in the he technically was in New York, I guess. Maybe. If that's how the writing wants to work. I don't know, but so
let's talk about
I don't know.
Hawkeye LARPing.
Oh my god. Yes.
That was
Apparently that
absolutely a funny
tech-
scene.
what was it? Grills, the character, is actually in the comics, I think. He's
That
actually
does
from the comics, which is
that doesn't
kind of interesting.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Um, but just to the I fought Thanos.
Have you noticed a lot of the Thanos was right? Like
I
stuff that I've
have
seen a
been
bunch
seeing
of
that
those
stuff.
popped up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of weird.
I'm
Like,
like, well, I mean, it happened. I mean, that was a real life thing, though. I mean, you know, Thanos,
yeah.
Thanos was right. Was a huge subreddit for a good year.
It also shows the whole like we've also seen the impact of like, you know, they all come back. You know, they all came back and and all the because it's not like, you know, they made the point where it's like just because they came back doesn't mean everything's hunky dory.
Right.
You know,
In fact,
it's
that
5 years later. Yeah, and just added more chaos. You know, and so I love that we're getting those little tidbits. You know, we're we're seeing that more and more of that. So I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in Hawkeye that I absolutely love. That I've noticed, and I haven't been watching. There might be a lot more that I haven't noticed because I haven't really watched any of those videos.
I have not watched any of those for
I
uh,
watched
any of the episodes yet.
WandaVision, and then I think a couple of the Loki, like a couple episodes of Loki, and then I kind of just stopped for whatever reason, and I haven't really watched any of those Easter egg videos for any of the other stuff. So, but I love I love that it's kind of centered around Ronin, you know, the
Hmm.
costume and I really enjoy the whole you're seeing Clint like his father side's coming out, like him taking care of Kate,
Yes.
cleaning her injuries, and it's like you didn't do that right, and you know all that, like you know, and then of course the moments with his kids, and like this is a well written show. Like they did, if this is like Hawkeye's last thing, they're giving him a really good send off. I feel like, as far as like showing all aspects of his character and
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. I'm definitely enjoying this a bunch. It seems like you're watching it just to watch it because it's there.
Yes,
You
I'm.
know,
I it hasn't grabbed me fully yet, and I'm waiting on it. Um, but I mean, I've got other things that I'm kind of that's kind of going on. So
gotcha. Yeah. Apparently, I heard starting with next week's episode 4, that's when the credit scenes are coming.
okay,
I think I heard the director said that, and that there's going to be a cameo in next week's, which I'm kind of like, oh, why'd you have to spoil that?
right.
Like, type of
Well,
thing.
to be honest, like the quote cameo in um Falcon
WandaVision.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier
Oh,
was
that.
given out months ahead. Like we didn't know who it was, but just that
Oh
there's a
yeah.
huge cameo scene happened right here. It turns out it wasn't that big. Like they made a much bigger deal about it than the fans did.
Yeah. I mean, also, I mean, it unfortunately, I feel like all this, like all the Marvel TV shows and stuff have just gotten all mixed up and switched around, because these shows were supposed to come out in different orders and at different times and
Yes.
along with the movie, and it's just kind of like it kind of sucks because it's like I wonder how all this would have played out if, COVID hadn't happened.
Yeah.
How would the appearances of stuff be, and because like the was it the stuff like that. But I mean, so far, I'm enjoying the Disney Plus Marvel stuff. Like, it's not it's not you know box office movie quality, but it's not like that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a streaming show that's connected to. And
Right.
as far as the Hawkeye stuff goes, it has me real confident for, you know, them doing more street level stuff. Like, there's going to be Echo's going to get her own spinoff. We already know that. That's been announced. Um, everyone, all the rumors are saying Daredevil's going to be in this, Daredevil's going to be in that, Daredevil's going to be in this,
They
Daredevil's going to be like,
they just want fucking
Daredevil's going to be in
Daredevil to
everything.
show up and like connect like the Netflix stuff to the MCU because so
Yeah.
far it has
Which,
not fully been connected.
yeah. Oh, Daredevil's going to show up in Far From Home or No Way Home. Daredevil's going to show up in the She-Hulk show. Daredevil's like everyone wants
To be
Daredevil.
fair, the She-Hulk one makes complete
It
sense.
should.
It
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
complete sense that Daredevil would be in that one.
I agree. Yeah. Um and I think yeah, a lot of people are thinking that we're that Kingpin there will be a Kingpin reveal on the Hawkeye show.
Yeah, you should look up Hawkeye Kingpin, and there's
Oh
tons of
yeah, like I
articles about
said,
it.
the internet has been just blowing up ever since, the rumors and then that reference, because like, in episode 3, the so yeah, it's um so yeah, which, I'm all for, I could definitely see them bringing back the Charlie Cox as Daredevil and all that, and this recasting, other people from the, honestly, I didn't have a problem with most of the casting in the Netflix stuff.
No.
Like the Iron Fist stuff was the only kind of issue. And I didn't hate that stuff as much as everyone else did.
I think
Yeah.
it was like that's much my issue with the casting. It was the writing. Same with
Yeah. Yeah.
same with Jessica Jones. Like the writing just was awful because they were all awful.
Oh, that first season was great though. I love that. But that was mostly
Nope.
because David Tennant was
Well,
outstanding.
David Tennant was the only good thing about that. Everything else was
He was
just
so
awful.
good as Purple Man. Oh my god. Like, God, I didn't know that I wanted David Tennant to be a creepy villain. Like,
Have you seen Harry
until I
Potter?
saw that. He's only in that for a little bit though.
He's not in it
Like,
for
it's like
long.
one scene, right?
No,
Like
it's two.
two. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Barty Crouch Jr., right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not in it much, but yeah. So but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on like I wouldn't be because it's fascinating because Echo is actually a side character for Daredevil, pretty much a supporting character for Daredevil. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, her show, maybe they'll reintroduce Daredevil and or, maybe that'll be like kind of a you know Daredevil and Echo show type of thing, you know, even though it will just be called like Echo, whatever, there'll be a lot of Daredevil in there because whatever, because
She
maybe they.
she's great though. By the way, like
Oh yeah,
she's she's
nailed it.
fantastic.
Apparently, the leg thing is something is something that's not in the comics. That was added for just the show.
Leg thing.
Her having a prosthetic leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently in the comics she's only it's only her being deaf.
Def.
Yeah. Which yeah. So but yeah, it's badass her fighting Hawkeye and basically being like, "Oh, you're relying on your hearing aid when you shouldn't," and then when his hearing aid gets broken, you know,
Oh no, my hearing aid. It's
he was still
broken.
kicking ass. Like he was still doing some cool stuff. And
Obviously, we watch different TikToks. Otherwise, you would have gotten that.
oh yeah, I haven't seen that one. I guess yeah.
I don't know how. I clearly don't know how you have not seen that meme
I
of,
don't know how
oh
you haven't
no,
gotten
our table is
spoiled.
broken.
Oh, that, yeah, the table I've seen the table
Okay.
thing. I've seen people make remixes of the "Oh no, the
Yes.
table," and
Yes. I was like,
yeah, like,
I don't know how you have not seen the oh no,
I
my table is broken.
I don't think I've ever seen the original, just like most of
No,
TikToks,
that's
but
because it was America's funniest videos
okay,
in
gotcha.
entry.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I've seen like, "Oh, I made a dubstep alternative rock remix that includes," yeah, I've seen weird stuff like that, yeah.
Here's bad guy, but instead, oh no, our table is broken. It's the skill that I've seen with TikToks is amazing.
Yeah, but
I fucking saw a
it
Power Rangers version of that yesterday.
oh, wow. Okay.
Oh no,
Interesting.
our table is
Um,
broken. It was like too much time on your hands.
yeah. I did see a TikTok that was like it was like a duet of like some girl doing like, I don't know, the slightest little thing. And it was like, "Oh, so you're telling me that you just like, you know, look at the camera a certain way and you get like 500,000 views, but and it showed this guy like doing some complex, like crazy thing. Like, I think it was some computer, like he was editing something crazy. Like he's like, I do this and I get like 20 view. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's how
I've
it works.
I've seen a bunch of those.
You
I've seen a bunch of those.
some of the most impressive things don't really, can get lost in the waste because hey, it's a pretty girl
Also that.
and she's doing the same TikTok as everyone else,
Yes.
where she's just like, you know, God, I'm so tired of some of these TikToks. I really am. Like, oh, you want boobs? I got you. You want ass? I got you. You want a flat stomach? You want boobs? Gosh, I'm so tired of that. No, stop it. Just an example. That's one of the first that came to my head. I'm just like, oh, no, stop it. Do more original things. But then it's the internet, so yeah.
Right. No.
But
What are you asking about?
I'm enjoying Hawkeye like a bit more, definitely more than you. But it's the third episode is what really grabbed me. Like that whole like chase scene in the car and all that stuff. It was so good. Like the camera work was amazing. Like I did see a TikTok about that where they were breaking that down, where some guy was breaking down like how like the kid, like I don't know if there was a person or if it was a rig, where it showed like the camera like in the back seat, but it was like slowly spinning around toward and showing like there's some good stuff for that. And the trick arrows, come on, we got like more trick arrows in this episode 3 than we've ever gotten from Hawkeye.
True. True.
Like the what was it, the Play-Doh arrow, and then the one that like hit that like hit all the Christmas trees and just like basically stopped that vehicle because it like
Yeah.
attached all the Christmas trees in that lot to the vehicle. And then there was the plunger. She was like plunger arrow, and then later we see why the plunger arrow is actually useful.
Oh yeah, I see why this would be a plunger arrow would be useful.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's just the same. Like whenever Oliver Queen and Arrow finally used the boxing glove arrow, like
Right.
whatever that was referenced. It's just like a cool comic thing. Like it's they're ridiculous and stupid, but like comic fans appreciate whenever we get that type of stuff. At least I did. I love the trick arrows, but yeah, Hawkeye halfway over. It's kind of interesting how it's like leading up to Christmas. Like actually, like the last episode's like right before Christmas, right? Like
The Wednesday before, yeah.
yeah, I like that. That's and it's weird because this is not when Hawkeye was supposed to originally come out release. It was supposed to be in like June or something, I think, originally. So
Well, when was it shot though? I'm wondering.
it might have gotten delayed too. The shooting might have gotten delayed too because of COVID. But like originally, I think it was supposed to be. I heard it like in June or something like that. But like this is,
Well,
I like the fact that this is coming out in Christmas time and it's Christmas themed and
let's see. Filming wrapped up on April 21st, and reshots were in September.
yeah. This is the case where it's like, okay, it got delayed and everything, but it kind of benefits from it because it's Christmas time. Come on now. This would have been very weird if it came out not Christmas time.
when when was Hawkeye filmed? 1994. Hold on, different Hawkeye. Apparently, there was a TV show in the '90s called Hawkeye.
Gotcha. I think I've
Did it
heard
have
about
anything to
that.
do with MASH?
Oh yeah.
The answer is no.
That MASH had a couple spin-offs, I think.
Yes,
But
it did.
yeah.
The answer was no. This looks like a romance. Like the poster art looks like one of my mom's romance novels.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it being a Christmas story though, being around Christmas though. And the whole like is that phone call in episode 3.
Yeah,
I think that was shot brilliantly. Like,
that was done well because you could kind of hear what was being said on the phone, but also not really.
yeah, and then you'd see, you could hear what he said, but you couldn't really hear anything else.
Yeah,
It was his point of
it
view.
was very muffled.
Yeah, which was great, and it was also like because before I was like, okay, who cares if he makes it or not? But after that phone call, it was like, oh, I want him to make it. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, I hope he's going to. He will. Like,
I don't know.
possibly,
Superhero story.
uh, maybe. Yeah.
There's a good chance he won't.
Just go get some Pym particles and go back in time, and so you make it.
There you go. There you go.
Easy peasy. Anyways, I guess that's it for this week. What is it? Yeah, I'm. So actually, yeah, if we don't have any delays or not, our next movie TV will be the episode talking about the episode, the penultimate episode,
The penultimate episode,
which is such a weird term. Like, I don't know. I've always thought that was such a weird term. Like,
agreed.
to have, like it's the for why like I don't know. But anyways, be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I'm at Will Play Games _ for whenever we stream, we'll
Or
tweet it
where
out
we
there.
stream.
Yeah, Stuart might be changing it up or switching it up, or who knows.
Yeah, I'm trying out YouTube streaming. It definitely works a little differently, and that's why that first stream I got, it's just me kind of going and not really realizing I'm live yet, because it doesn't, when you hit live on OBS, it doesn't go live on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah,
That's odd. Okay.
unless you have a setting switched, which I thought I did not, but it turns out I did. So that kind of threw me.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, follow us on Twitter for any updates. And we will catch you next time.
And remember, no animals are harmed from making this podcast.